In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the Tech Zone.
Welcome back to the Tech Zone. Paul Amadeus Lane. Our special show on Marvel's Spider-Man game that just dropped only on PlayStation. What are some things about this game that you should be aware of? Well, Tony and I are going to continue our conversation about this game, and we want to know your thoughts too. So as you're watching this and as you're playing the game, please let us know your thoughts. If you agree with us, if you disagree with us, if you want to be a mean fanboy out there, it's all right. You know, I'm used to it. I'm Twitter tough. I don't mind. But Tony and I want to continue our conversation about gameplay right now, and some of the things that we took away from our playing this game. Now, Tony, we touched on the storyline, and we talked about some of the things that really, floated our boat when it comes to that. But now we're going to get into the gameplay, and that was one of the things that really blew me away was the gameplay.
Yeah, the gameplay. Here's the funny thing, man. I'm just being 100 right now. When I first started playing this game, even on the first mission, I got my butt handed to me, man, because I went in there, because the gameplay is very similar to the Batman Arkham games, right? Like basically, when you're Spider-Man, you could punch enemies and you could kind of zigzag between them. And he also has the same kind of sixth sense or spider sense. So very similar type of game. So I went in there playing it like a Batman Arkham game. And the first day I played it, I was having a rough time. I was getting destroyed, right? And then the second day, like that's when it clicked on me. It's like, oh, listen, dude, you're Spider-Man. You're not Batman, right? Like when you go in there and you start using the web abilities, when you start using his gadgets, when you start moving around and stuff, that's when like combat really opens up. And I love the combat in this game. Even in some of my favorite Spider-Man games, I always felt the combat was a little bit lacking. It felt like Spider-Man's punches and attacks or whatever didn't really have a lot of impact. They really do this game. When you're wailing on some of these guys, man, you feel it, and I love how you could uppercut them into the air, keep beating them up, swinging around, web them up. It's so dynamic. And I love the way, because there's so much, when it comes to combat, there's so many options that you could express yourself. You can, play how you want, and the game constantly gives you new moves, constantly gives you new gadgets. So it never becomes boring. Like you can't go into any battle going, okay, I know how I'm going to go about this. This is going to be easy. Like you can't phone it in, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. You need to be aware at all times, even when you're fighting just regular thugs. Like I love how dynamic it is. And even on normal difficulty, it presents a good challenge. I know some cats out there that I talked to that, they played it on like the hardest difficulty at the time of launch, and they were loving it too, So I do like the comments. It just makes you feel like Spider-Man. You just do all this crazy stuff, man. I love it.
And like with me, I played on friendly mode, so I was like, I'm gonna do it on the low mode so I won't get beat. But speaking of gameplay, 20 right now, we're gonna look at a excerpt of kind of one of the first missions that we got a chance to play here, and we notice just the stealthiness of Spider-Man. We see him just like walking on the catwalk right there, and just the movements and everything. You and I both played this section right here. What was your memorable moment right here?
Yeah, this section right here, which is fairly early in the game, really spotlights the stealthiness of the character, right? And I love how the game like shows you these mechanics without being too obtrusive. Like right there at the beginning, you saw him shoot a web. The enemy's like, hey, what was that? He goes to check it out. You can web him up. So I love that, man. Like that's a really good introductory section, right? But again, if you're not careful, things could turn really quickly, But yeah, it's like I said, man, it's so dope the way they integrated the stealth and the combat. Because even there, if you mess up, you still have the option of just wailing on dudes. But it's more satisfying when you could go in there and just take everybody out stealthily without them even knowing you were in the building.
Yeah, we can now talk about this beauty right here. We can talk about this for a long time. This spider suit right here with the white spider on it. And Tony, when you first saw that and was able to unlock that, what went through your mind?
Yeah, that's the main, quote unquote main suit in the game. Because in the beginning, and I can say it's not a bit much as well. You start off with your regular classic Spider-Man suit. It gets damaged, and then you upgrade to that. Man, it is. So I love the. It's kind of interesting when I went back to play with the normal suit. Even though it looks great in the game, it kind of felt, for the lack of a better term, dated. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks a little silly, because the world is just so realistic, right? But so I'm thinking maybe that's why they changed his outfit a little bit, because it really like fits more with the aesthetic of the world. I loved it. I love the fact that when you first put the suit on, and I think, people have already seen this video, so I'm not spoiling anything, like he's flying, he's webbing around the city and stuff. And this one woman goes, "Hey, Spidey, I love the new suit." So I love how they acknowledge that, but I really like it. And, people are not going to be surprised to know there are many, many, many other suits in the game that you can unlock as you progress, man. And each one actually has a very specific ability, right? That suit has its own ability. The original one has its own ability, but you could also mix and match. Like, let's say if you want to, play at, and I'm trying not to spoil too much. You could have the aesthetic of the original suit with the ability of another suit. So I love how you can mix and match that. So you could look the way you want, but have the special powers that you desire.
And when we look at the gameplay too, what I like, one feature is when you can actually run up buildings. that is so super cool. And just being able to when you're web slinging and web swinging, and then you can go to a building, you run up, you can the continuous motion, and that's really a key for gamers like myself, and even you being a part of the disabled gamer community. Your fingers work pretty good for you. Mine don't. So I'm always looking for advantages, and I know the accessibility patch is there too, to help out disabled gamers. And when I reviewed it, I didn't have any accessibility patches, so I played it raw. So where I'm coming from is that this game right here in the gameplay is it's awesome. It's one of those games where you look at it and you're like, wow, I didn't know we can do that in the game. I didn't know we can do that in the game. And just if we look at the gameplay too, we talked about playing as Mary Jane Watson and also Miles Morales. I like their abilities too, even though they don't have super abilities, but they have this type of ability of the mind to figure out certain things. And you even get an assist by a friendly neighborhood person giving you some of his tech to help you out. That's what I liked about it too.
Yeah, we're not getting into that, but yeah, you do get other allies in there too. But yeah, those are the three main characters that you play in the game. I could say that at least. And yeah, and you're right. Just like Spider-Man, they, Mary Jane and Miles, they get more abilities too, that as you progress, which make them a little bit more effective, which I really enjoyed, man. It's just, man, I could go on about this game, son. It's just so dope what they did with it. Like the hype that me and Paul have is genuine, man. It's just so good what they've done with it. Like you can tell, like they put a lot of thought into this, man. And I'm so looking forward to whatever they got coming, because I know for a fact this cannot be the only one-off. Like they set things up in this game. Not gonna spoil it, but they definitely set things up for sequels, man. I'm so looking forward to it. And they already announced DLCs and stuff, which are gonna, things that happen in the game that weren't fully fleshed out that we're gonna get like to see. Like I could say, because there's already been a real, a Black Cat. You going back to other relationships, right? Her and Spider-Man got something going on too. So I'm looking forward to seeing that and other things, man. Oh boy, it's crazy, man.
It is too, and we know it's been announced too that things that are coming out October 23rd, in November and December. If you go to PlayStation blog, there's some things that you might want to make sure that you take advantage of now, because there are going to be some things released in conjunction with this that you definitely want to be a part of. And Tony, as we look at this, what are some things that we can be critical about? We can use we will take off our fanboy hat, but now we'd be kind of critical. What are some things that you think you would have liked to see, or are things kind of change, either in storyline, either in gameplay? What's some constructive criticism out there that you would give?
Okay, it's funny because I was thinking about this, like, because this is one of those games where it's hard for me to actually find a lot of faults with it because it is near perfect. I guess the only one, this is just a nitpick. I do wish that if when you throw yourself off a building, you actually can die. Like in this game, you can't do that. Like you could jump off a building in Spider-Man. If you don't do anything, he'll stick to the ground. And I'm like, that kind of because one of the things I love doing in other Spider-Man games is like jumping off a building at the last second, shooting a web, saving myself. So you can't really do that in this game. But besides
why you
that,
hate know that, man? Why are you hate, man?
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, like let me die, man. You know what I'm saying? But because it's like, even though like it's still cool to do that, like I know I'm not gonna like die. Like in Spider-Man 2, you do that, man. You're gone. But it's hard, man. Like even as a reviewer, I was looking back at my review, I'm like, I didn't fault this game for anything. It's very difficult. And I'm not being a fanboy. It's just when a game is just so excellently realized like that, like it's like you can't really fault it, but that's the only thing I personally found. Like I understand where you're coming from when it comes to controls. Like maybe they could have made it more accessible. I didn't really have any problems on that end, but perhaps that could be a criticism too, which is justified. But yeah, like again, Sony just made this near like flawless game. I mean, I guess you could maybe say, okay, there's not a lot here that you haven't seen in other Spider-Man games. But again, any criticism I have are, they feel like they're just nitpicky, No, it's not anything substantial.
I hear you. And we talked about like some of the suits and everything too. And this suit right here is pretty cool right here. It's like pretty trendy. You look pretty sweet. And you can kick some butt with that, right? That's kind of Spider-Man Vigilante style. But
that's the Ben Reilly outfit, which is interesting because that's the outfit that the clone Spider-Man wore in the comics. There's controversy behind that outfit actually because of the Clone Saga back in the day. Oh boy, man! I'm telling you, people, I used to read. I still read comics, so I was with it back in the day. I remember when this happened. I'm like, but they brought him back in the comics. Like that's kind of interesting. One of the most controversial storylines of Spider-Man from the 1990s. Marvel's fully embracing now in the comics and in the video game. Interestingly enough.
No, I hear you, and I sure appreciate your feedback too. And my one thing that I would do constructive criticism, and it's just me coming from a place of being a disabled gamer. That is, like there's certain missions that are kind of like, I don't want to say timed, but you have to be within a different close proximity before the mission is failed. I would like to see that go away, only because as long as you eventually catch up with them. That's just me. But I know in real life, you have to catch up to the bad guys. You have to take care of them. That's just my criticism right there. Only coming from an accessible gamer, standpoint. But if I was an able-bodied gamer, I'm like you, Tony. I can't find anything to criticize. It's hard to this game. And I love the fact that if I jump off a building, I can't die. I really do.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't work for me, but it works for you, Yeah. And by the way, with the chase sequences, like you brought up, I'm glad you bring it up because even for me, I the first mission, it was chase of a supervillain. I'm not going to say who. I lost a couple of times. I didn't realize, like, no, you need to catch up to them at a certain amount of time, but it shows you that you need to really learn the mechanics of traversing the city. You can't just plain swing around like in an arc. Like you need to like shoot webs to move forward and all that, slide around buildings or whatever. There's a lot of stuff in there, man. And just to bring it up, I find it funny because again, I don't know, man, what it is about gamers. Like they love to complain about really weird things. Like people thought that this game was going to be like a QTE, quick time event type of game that you're not going to have any control. I'm like, yo, like there's some quick time stuff in there to highlight some action, but like 99% of the time you're in full control of Spider-Man. That whole helicopter sequence is one of the dopest sequences in the whole game. You're in control of that for the most part. So, and I appreciated that. When the helicopters, destroying the city and stuff like that, I'm not spoiling nothing. It was already in the trailer. You're there chasing that thing, and I almost lost, man. I think almost got away from me,
Yeah, well, I lost several times before I got a chance. And what I'm gonna on my YouTube channel, I'm actually gonna show folks how I play Spider-Man, being a disabled gamer, how I use the controller with my mouth and everything. So I'm definitely gonna highlight that. And one other thing that I would like to see, and again, it's just me, accessible gaming and all that other things, being an accessible gaming consultant and stuff, is spawning. Sometimes it's hard for me to make it to I'm like at the last section of of a challenge, and then when I die, I got to go all the way back and repeat 4 or 5 sequences to get where I died at. That's what I would see like change. Just I'm not I want you guys to game the system. I just want you to give me a little leg up because brother got a disability. Brother need a little help. That's all. That's all that I'm saying. But Tony, the amount of time you have to use your brains and your brawn when it comes to this game is, to me, it's like, I don't know if there's anything out there like it. I mean, you're a much better judge of games than I am, but I think this is like, in my opinion, I know we're going to do like our show at the end of the year. We do our top 10 games. I think this is going to be, if not the top of the list, near the top of the list.
Oh man, that goes without saying. Like, this is going to be like top 5, at least. And it's going to be funny because there's probably going to be at least 2 other Sony games on there too. Sony's been killing it this year, man. Detroit, God of War, the Shadow of the Colossus remake. But yeah, no, this game is definitely going to be up there. But what you said about that this game has things that other games don't have. It has things that other Spider-Man games do, but you're right about that. Like, Spider-Man is a unique character. Like, he fits so well with video games, as this title proves. And this is why he's been in so many games over the years. But just like with the Batman Arkham games, this game it's not like, okay, we're going to put Spider-Man in this type of game. It's like, okay, what do we need in this game to make a good Spider-Man experience? And that's what they did with this one. You got the open world, you got the web swinging, you got the stealth, you got the combat, you got the the heartfelt story. Like, everything that makes Spider-Man is in this, man. So and it's so good. There's not a lot of video game characters out there quite like Spider-Man, because again, he's very powerful. He's very, mobile and everything, but there's a lot of heart to him too. He's not just some, macho dude beating his chest or whatever, like he's a real guy like Peter Parker. Till this day, 2018, this guy was created in 1960. You still would love to hang out with this guy, get a couple of drinks and just hear, him tell stories and all that. He's not even related to Spider-Man, just him being Peter Parker. He's such a, great guy, and I love how that comes across in the game, man. And there's little things too. And I want people to do this in game. Please, I know it's fun to swing around and everything. Please take the time, go down to the city streets and start walking. You get so much love from the citizens. They want to take selfies. They give you dap, chest bumps and stuff. I'm like, that's cool, man. Because even though, not everybody in New York, loves Spider-Man, most of them do, because somebody, people in New York in the Marvel Cinematic Universe have either been saved by Spider-Man or they know somebody that Spider-Man has saved. They know he's a good guy, despite all that smack that J. Jonah Jameson be talking, So, please do that. Just go down there and you really, like, I know it's a small thing. It's not part of the gameplay, but just going down there to the city streets and just, letting the people shower you with love, that shows you right there how special Spider-Man is.
Yeah, and to echo what you're saying, Tony, too, make sure you go into Central Park. That's all I have to say. Spend some time in Central Park, too. And you know how Peter used to be a photographer? Those skills are going to come up again, too. So make sure you explore the game, you enjoy the game. I'm blown away by it. Tony's blown away by it. By a lot of our colleagues in the industry are blown away by it, too. And I tell you, Sean Layden and the team and the guys over in Insomniac Games, they hit a home run with this. And Tony, we would be derelict in our duties if we didn't give some props out there to some of our great friends over at PlayStation, like Aram, Joe, Jen 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. I think everybody's named Jennifer over at Sony.
Yeah, that's right. You got a lot of Jennifers out there. Shout out to all of them. And since we're doing it, man, shout out to my good friend Gio Corsi, man. Like, him and I become really good friends. It's funny because me and him mostly talk about comic books and movies. We don't even talk about games, but yeah, shout out to everybody. Ted Price and Insomniac, everybody out there, did such a, again, amazing, spectacular job on this game, man. It's really something special. And I'm so glad that, Sony, did this for us. They really did do this for us, like, it's not just for the Spider-Man fans, it's for all gamers, man. It's such a great experience. I'm over here. I beat this game last week, and I'm getting hyped right now talking about it. Like, I want to go back and play again.
Tell me about it, man. And that's one thing about the game. Once you beat it, you can go back and really play it over again and have like a kind of a new experience. If you take your time to explore the city and do all this other stuff, you can definitely do it. And I tell you, I am pleasantly surprised by this game and how awesome it is. And Tony, we'll let you know out there, please order those DLCs now, because right now, if you pre-order, there's a deal. Scratch a check, get that credit card out, go ahead and do it, because it's a real good deal coming up with the DLCs. So Tony, before I let you go, my friend, anything else out there you'd like to just say about the gaming world, about this game, about your show? The floor is yours, my friend. The Dominican
all right.
Dominator.
Yeah, no, we're in prime time right now, man. It's fall season. A lot of good games are dropping. So I hope you guys been saving up them pennies, because there's a lot of games out there coming out. Spider-Man just dropped. Tomb Raider's coming. Me personally, I'm looking forward to Valkyria Chronicles. There's also Assassin's Creed, Odyssey, Red Dead Redemption 2, obviously, man. Battlefield 5, Call of Duty, Black Ops 4. There's a bunch of good stuff coming out. So, be on the lookout for that, man. And, since I do have the floor, just if you're a gamer, please just enjoy games, man. Don't get into these bickering wars or whatever. Like, I've been guilty of it myself. I don't do that anymore. It's like, just focus on the love, the reason you're even doing this, man. 'Cause that's what gaming is all about. And, Spider-Man's one of those games that proves to you why this is such a great hobby, why it's such a great medium for storytelling and interactive entertainment, And if you want to follow me, go over to Twitter. I am Romudeth there, ROMUDETH. And in my bio, you'll see links to everything I do, geek.com, Coalition, and my podcast, Throwdown, which is actually, at the time of this recording, we're celebrating our 200th episode, so that's a lot of fun. And, this is Sunday, so we're also doing our 200th episode of our question show. Throw down your questions. So a lot of celebrations going on over my channel. Please go over there on YouTube. It's called Throwdown Show. Check it out. We got a lot of fun stuff going on. And we actually had a successful giveaway for Spider-Man, because, again, this is a very special game. We wanted our fans to have it. We took money out of our pocket, bought you guys the game. So it's real, and we're gonna have another one probably for Red Dead Redemption 2. So get ready for that.
That's cool. So can I win the game?
Yeah, sure, man. Here's the thing: you can enter it, but if it's all random. There's no.
No, come on, man. You got to game the system, man. Am I going to have to call Russia and have them get the box for me so I can win?
Man, maybe, they hack everything now, son.
Tell me about it. But I got some good friends over there too. But hey, the Dominican Dominator, always great catching up with you. Always great talking about, gaming and everything. I actually have a PlayStation hat like Tony, but I want to dress up like Spider-Man today. But not only that, my head is too big. I can't fit the hat. So Sean and team, can you make a size 8 fitted hat? Brother got a big old head. That's all I'm saying. Great catching up with you, my friend. Look forward to chatting with you soon.
All right, man. See you soon. Peace.
A huge shout out to the Dominican Dominator, Tony Polanco. Love having his take all the time on gaming and everything. Much better gaming journal than I am. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But I enjoyed his insight. And there's one thing about the game that I would like to add my little 2 cents in again after Tony and I had our conversation. I love Peter's character, but I would like to have a game module where we take Peter to the hood, right? And we take him to like our favorite rib shack, get him some macaroni and cheese, some collard greens, teach him how to dab and all that other stuff, do the dancing and everything. Because it is New York, right? It's the birth of hip hop. So I would love to have that in the game, a little homage to hip hop. No, I'm just joking out there. I'm a clown, but hey, really enjoy how this game was put together, and make sure you run out and get your copy. It's rated T for teen. It's $59.99. That's the MSRP. It's an action adventure game, single player. And so you can download it. You can also buy it in the store. And if you don't have a PlayStation right now, get you one. This game right here will make you fall in love with that console and the platform. All right. Well, on next week's show, we're going to talk a little bit of gaming, a little bit of tech, talk a little bit of CES. We know we're less than 4 months away from CES, so let the innovating begin. So until next time, take care of yourself, folks. I'm going to make like a tree and get out of here. Take care. Love you guys.
In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone.